Good evening, Anuradha. Is there any admin on this who's currently around?
Good evening. Good evening.
Yes, sir. I'm here, sir. Saji is there.
Saji is here. Sorry, Saji, can I just share the slide just to see if they're moving?
Yes, sir. I've given you access.
Okay, just one sec. Can you see?
Not yet.
Yeah, I can see.
Yes. Yes.
Go for slideshow. Yeah.
Is it moving?
Yes, yes. Perfect, sir.
Okay. I think we still have Atanuda. I think you have been entrusted to lead this session, isn't it? To start. I think.
Yeah, we have 7 minutes left.
Dr. Jogesh Parekh is traveling, I was told.
Yeah. Good evening, Srikantoda. Professor Basu, good evening.
Still, I've got about 5 minutes left, so I just mute myself for the time being.
Hi everyone. Hi Ruchira. Acha, Bhiwan, you are mute. Atanu boss.
Yeah. Good evening, sir.
The first
Hi.
slide is. Good evening.
Hi, good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Ruchira. Good evening.
Good evening,
Good evening,
Dr. Anthony.
everyone.
Yeah.
Good evening,
Hi,
Vasant sir,
Ruchira.
everyone.
Hello. Hi.
Hi
Good
everyone.
evening, Bhivan sir. Good evening. Ruchira
Yeah.
ma'am, good evening.
Good evening,
Yes,
Amol.
Excuse me. Just I
Attention.
want to tell everyone that today we started that our street children adoption project, that is the Sarthi at Indore, and they adopted 220 children adopted with the help of Rotary or 3-4 organizations. It was so good program. They had taken to all the competition and everything. Dr. Srilekha Joshi or Himanshu Kelkar. बहुत ही अच्छा. Just I came back from Indore.
Okay.
Oh,
Sir,
super.
we are dot on 9. Vasant sir, can you start?
Yes. We can start.
Okay. So I think we'll start with a few words from our president. This is the Manchester International Fellowship Program, which Dr. Vasant had gave all his efforts and along with all the team for getting this running from this year. So I would request Dr. Vasant sir to say a few words, and Dr. Neelam has also joined.
Yeah.
So both of them will say a few words. First Dr. Vasant, then Dr. Neelam, and then we can start to hand it over to Bhivan. Okay.
Yeah. Our respected President-elect Dr. Neelam, Secretary Dr. Yogesh Bhai, past President Dr. Basavaraja, Dr. Atanu, our Treasurer, Dr. Ruchira, our Joint Secretary, and Dr. Bhivan, who is the Associate Medical Director of IMG Lead for MIF Program Pediatric Manchester Foundation Trust, and Dr. Amol, and all those who are attending, Dr. Bishwajit, Dr. Shruti, Dr. Lakshman, all these, those who are attending this program. So I really want to say thanks to Manchester Foundation for associating IAP to Indian Academy of Pediatrics. Why I am saying that, I was little bit, I had a little bit issue when we started, but when we went there, we saw that program, and when we heard from our fellows who had joined from either Pakistan or India, then we came to know what is the magnitude of this fellowship. Really, it's a great thing you people are doing, that training our 15 fellows in a year, that's for some super specialty, and that we need it, because you all know how the difficulty our children are facing to get any fellowship overseas. And that's with the help of Dr. Ranjan, Dr. Atanu, Dr. Bhivan, we made it. And I think this fellowship and association with and collaboration should go long way. I want to rest assure all my Indian fellows, my member, 49,000 member, that you can, whenever there is a advertisement, whenever there is a, you can suggest anyone that you can join. After all, they need the interest. Basically, important is there is not a single interest of the money transaction with IIP and this Manchester University. So the Dr. Bhuyan is going to tell everything about it, but that is the greatest point. We are getting all the credit that we are recruiting our children, and with the help of IIP, really that's a great. I wish all the best to all those fellows who are doing, and thanks to our all the member, those who have supported, especially Dr. Atanu, who made it, and we myself, Dr. Yogesh and Dr. Neelam visited the center. We saw it's really up to mark. Let's go ahead for the happy learning. Thank you once again, Bhivan, Dr.
Thank
Professor Sujay, for your efforts, and all members of Manchester University. We had one very good CME on that day, It was really excellent CME organized by this Manchester University people. Thank you once again, and let's continue this association in future also. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving the background. And Dr. Neelam Mohan, President 2026.
I just want to say ditto to what Vasant had said. There's no point spending more time in a beautiful academic activity that we've been waiting for. I've been fortunate to listen this talk from Bivan. All that I have to say is anything life is successful when there is a win-win situation. And in that win-win situation, there should be no money transaction. So I think that is why it is successful, because it's a win-win situation. We've all worked, almost 3 decades earlier. We also went, and we know how the working happens in UK. Things haven't changed, and it is so pleasure to see how everything is so structured in a way where the guidelines and the structural way with which they work. It is nice to see that the residents are also learning that, and whenever there is embracement between two associations where you empower the youth, there can be nothing better than that. So it's a beautiful endeavor, and I absolutely look forward to continue it with enthusiasm and zeal, and see how we can increase it further in UK. There's a lot of responsibility on handsome young Bivan, tall, broad shoulders, who can carry the responsibility because he has a charm of getting up with anyone, whether it was seniors, whether it was youth. The Bengali guys were very fond of him, and I seem to be the only Punjabi person who was admiring him. But with that, to say, the Bengali fish worked, and Bivan is very intelligent. We look forward to the beautiful presentation that you have to say. And also we look forward to welcoming you with your team in Kolkata.
जिम से जल्दी आ गए थकाई कम तो चले पर समझता में दिमाग में ये था कि जिम आज बंद होगा या जिम आज बंद होगा कुछ बात होगा
Saji, please mute all. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, please mute everyone. There is no background noise should be there. And I request Dr. Basab sir, who's actually in whose tenure we started these ideas and got it into concretized finally in started in 24, became concrete in 25, and of course it will continue in 26. So Dr. G.V. Basabraja sir.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Atanu. Respected our National President of Indian Academy of Pediatrics, Dr. Vasant Kalatkarji, President-elect Neelam Mohanji, and all the office bearers. It is a very, very good initiative by Indian Academy of Pediatrics, which is where the pediatrics is in a specialty where presently in the developing countries like India, where we are in a transition stage where a lot of subdivisions and super specialties are coming up. During that time, Dr. B1 was very, very instrumental along with the team IAP UK for establishing this Manchester International Fellowship Program. So this is going very successfully. So I'm sure any new things which starts, lot of challenges is going to be there, but IAP top leadership is witnessed what is really happening in the ground. I'm very happy that IAP leadership taken cognizance of all the things, whatever the things which is happening at the Manchester. Best wishes for this program. I wish this program to be taken into the newer heights in the coming days. Best wishes. I'm sure Dr. Neelam Mohanji herself is witnessed all the things. Will take this program to the another level. Thank you. Thank you very much. Be well.
Thank you. So I hand over it to Dr. Bivan Shah, and Dr. Bivan is Associate Medical Director of Manchester University Hospital Foundation Trust, special interest in neonatology and pediatric cardiology. But the main, I think, point of interest is that when Beyond the Borders was first formed, Dr. Ramesh Kumar sir, Dr. Ranjan Pejawar sir, the focus was on UK, and I think single-handedly initially, then many people joined in, and it was started by Dr. Bivan. So thanks for your sincere efforts that today IAP UK are closer to each other. And of course, though many of you are from our country and you are staying there, but you are excelling in the job there. And I think you have given it back to the motherland that we have this fellowship program now. So over to Dr. Bivan, sir.
Thank you, Atanuda, and thank you, Dr. Vasant Kalatkar, President IAP. Thank you, Dr. Neelam Mohan, President-elect 2026, and the driving force for next year and beyond, and Dr. Vasavraj, who was initially a part and a big part of this program when we started formally amalgamating with IAP about a couple of years ago. I'll give a brief description of the program because I think a lot of questions will come. So I'll reserve things for the questions mainly. So I'll give a brief talk about 20 minutes, and then I will invite questions from anyone. You can put it in the chat box, or you can ask me or put it in the chat box. Then Dr. Atanu can moderate those questions and bring it over to me, and I'll try and answer them as best as we can. So please stop me anytime if you want to, or understand any questions, or reserve the questions for the end. So I think the whole point of this program is this is the 5th year we are running it actually. And the whole point of bringing it to the IAP podium is because we've got some excellent trainees who have come through this program to us, who were introduced by the IAP leadership. And we can see the immense, what I would say, the strength and the power and the depth that IAP Indian subcontinent has to the wealth of knowledge and depth that the trainees have, and how they can be structured to be better physicians, not only from the medical aspect of things, to understand how the governance works, how research works, how leadership works. So every doctor is probably a born leader, and it is there somewhere in their genes. It's just how that is nurtured in their work. It's what this entire education program is all about. So the whole concept of this program came to us at about 8 years ago, just prior to COVID. There was a lot of training gaps in those years, and we had a lot of gaps to be filled. So the main aspects of coming into this country was when I came to this country about in 2008, which is about 17 years ago, we found that there was a big challenge for IMGs to enter the system because there were two factors which were involved. One was registration to the General Medical Council. So you have to get a registration in any country that you practice. And the second one was your visa, which is your right to work in this country. So if you look at the trend of the events, how it occurred, so this is what the EEA stands for, European Economic Activity. So that was the European Economic Area. So other areas other than UK in Europe who were contributing to the workforce, which has more or less been quite static with this, for the simple reason that the European Union previously was a part of the whole procedure. But since Brexit happened and UK stepped out, the European Union decrees were not recognized by UK, for which they had to go through the same system by which IMGs come at this point of time. So, and that is why the likelihood of EEAs coming into the workforce of UK decreased. So because they didn't want to give more exams, unlike our IMGs who are fond of giving exams basically. So this is how the trajectory went up by the IMGs. And if you look at it, this is the 2022, about 12,000 doctors were at that point working in the NHS system, whereas the UK was more or less static, because medicine is going through the medical career for UK graduates. It's about a 6 years career, and it is pretty lengthy, pretty tough, and it's pretty long as well. So if you look at the entire structure, the IMGs took a shoot from this 2019 onwards, and currently it is still rising if you look at it. So overseas recruitment, as we said, so these were the pathways of GMC registration at that time. So one was what was known as the MTI scheme, which was known as the Medical Training Initiative Scheme. And then which we had the PLAB, which is still ongoing. But what PLAB gives you is your registration. It doesn't assure you of a job. Similar MTI scheme, it is sponsored by the Royal College. Individual Royal Colleges give a sponsorship for your visa, but they don't give you a job. You still have to look for the job and apply through the scheme to get your registration. And then the Royal College sponsors your visa. And then all these international training fellows who came through different routes all struggled in different ways of their structure or journey to enter into the UK system, which is still probably regarded as one of the oldest, the most structured, the most rationalized and governance-wise rationalized, aspects of governance, aspects of leadership, aspects of training, teaching, and progression. So EA graduates, as I said, when Brexit came in, this flow came down as well. PLAB, ineligible candidates, they didn't contribute effectively to the workforce. And then again, the MTI scheme was pretty costly process as well. So this brought about, Sujesh was the initial driving force. Sujesh Bansal, he's a anesthetist by profession, where he thought about this scheme, which was brought to me in, I think, 2019, which was known as the Manchester International Fellowship Scheme. So if we can provide our credential and apply to GMC, that we as a trust will be able to certify this candidate and recommend him or her for a GMC registration. And if we can apply for his visa, then this person with a job can directly come into the UK system. So the visa, the job, and registration is all taken off from the participant's shoulder, and Manchester Foundation Trust takes the responsibility for all three and includes into the workforce of a breed of doctors who will be called Manchester International Fellows, basically. So this is what the whole scheme was about. The registration sponsored by MFT, the tier 2 visa. This is also very, very important, because if you look at it, the MTI scheme has the tier 5 visa. So what a tier 5 visa means, it is a visa for 2 years. And at the end of 2 years, you have to leave the country. You cannot stay a day extra on this country. And you are restricted by the particular organization who is supplying you. Whereas, and it will not add to your residency. You know, after 5 years of residency in UK, you get what is known as a permanent residency. This 2 years on a tier 5 visa will not contribute to residency. Whereas Manchester International Fellowship Scheme gives you a tier 2 visa, which is similar like a work permit. You work for Manchester 2 years. At the end of 2 years, you are the master of your own choice. If you decide to stay, we are happy with you. You are happy with us. You continued on a separate contract. If you want to go back to your country, you go back to your country and practice what you have learned here. But this 2 years contributes to your 5 years residency. So another 3 years, if you stay in this country, you are eligible for a residency and a passport if you want to. So these, when we went for it, these are the foundation trust who have been granted this authority of granting or certifying a registration as well as the visa through the Manchester. So there are a few other trusts, Oxford being one of our close neighbors, who are doing a similar program in neonates and pediatrics as well. So one route of entry for overseas doctors, suitably qualified. I think that's the most important. We are more to do with people who have already received some sort of a structured training abroad. That's the most important thing. You cannot apply for this role while you are in the UK. So it's specifically designed for overseas candidates who are practicing abroad, and you get your tier 2 visa as well. So this is more or less the route. Once the job is applied and you qualify for the job by an interview, which is an open interview on a virtual platform. At the moment, we are trying to make it face-to-face, but that will take time. But we are currently on the virtual platform. We apply online for registration. You get your registration, all the documents are checked by us, sent to GMC, you get a registration within 28 days of our checking the documents. So GMC does not do any further checks, all the checks are done by us, and we just recommend for registration. As soon as you get your registration, the trust applies for your visa, and with that visa you come across to Manchester, get your ID check at GMC Manchester, and then you can start working straight away. Documents needed: passport, primary medical qualification, good standing. These are the standard ones for your GMC registration. That is there as well. I think the most important thing is your English language evidence, which is as a part of the job. This is year 5 of our recruitment. The job is coming out in 2 weeks. English language is one of the prime requirements of it, plus a 3-year structured training, either an MD or a DNB. Unfortunately, diploma DCH is currently non-accepted because it is a 3-year structured training, and DCH is only 2 years. DCH, DNB is accepted. MD and DNB are definitely accepted. English language evidence, which I'll come to in a minute, is an essential criteria as well. Overseas appointee, it need not apply solely to existing approved training posts for UK training. Essential documents, we have an eligibility checklist, we have an interview form. I think this is the most important slide that you need to look at. If you are currently in the UK or not, you are not eligible for this post. If you have sat any part of the UK PLAB examination and have failed any part, you are not eligible for the post. So if you already have a GMC number, you are still eligible. It doesn't mean that you have done your PLAB here, you've gone back to your country, you're still eligible to apply if you have got a 3-year structured training. So if you have failed any part of the UK PLAB, you do not applicable for the post. If you need 3 years experience in the last 5 years, this is also important. So in the last 5 years of at the point of application, you need to be 36 months of your 60 months in a clinical area, out of which that 36 months, you need to be 12 months continuous prior to application. So if you have to be outside the UK, you need your English language qualification based on this, an overall score of 7.5 with 7, or a target B, 7 in each individual: listening, writing, reading, and there are four areas. I can't remember all 4. So it's listening, reading, writing, and there is speaking. So 4 areas you have to score 7 with an overall score of 7.5, or OET with a B grade. From my experience, OET is easier to pass, difficult to get a date, whereas IELTS is easier to get a date, costlier but more difficult to pass. So try and do the OET if you need to pass on the first time. So because this is a must criteria, without that, whatever your experience is doesn't count. So 3 years in a structured program, last 12 months continuously working. In the last 5 years, you need to be 3 years or 36 months of the last 5 years, taking your leaves, your pregnancy leave and all that out, but you have to be in the last 12 months, has to be continuous. You have not passed any part of the PLAB test. It's not essential. You may not have appeared PLAB, but if you have appeared, you need to pass that PLAB test, or if you have failed any part, then you're not eligible and you have to be outside the country. So this is the main chart. If you want to take a photo of it, please take a photo of it for people who want to apply. I can come back to it later if you have any questions. So this you don't have to worry about. This is for us, basically. It is how we do the shortlisting. It is a non-biased shortlisting that is done. Interview is on Zoom or Teams, and then you are selected and the choices are sent out. So at the end of it, we have a scoring system based on which we tick all these boxes and send it over to HR, who gets process your all documents. So this is what we have, number of MIFs that we have employed over the last few years. Currently, I think in 2020, this is 2023, 24, 25, we have crossed 50 actually. There's a program director in the PG Meds group who's overall in charge of it. It is Sujesh Bansal at the moment. We have an MIF steering group, of which I am a member, and MFT IMG leads group, which I lead the pediatrics. This is how the governance stands. You get an educational supervisor. You are allotted to an educational supervisor and a mentor through your 2 years. You develop a portfolio, you develop an appraisal system, and you take back a reach of wealth of paperwork, with certified competencies which are signed off by your educational supervisor. There is a 6 monthly educational supervision meet based on what your needs are from this fellowship program, what you're trying to achieve, and what your future career is, and what your goal ultimately is, whether to stay here, apply for training, or go back to your country and practice what you've learned. DRESS stands for doctor requiring extra support. They have, in this last 4 years, we've met 2 doctors who needed extra support. And for that, we have a separate pathway where extra time is given to them, extra educational supervision, a period of time where they are taken off the rota into a supernumerary rota, and they're kept off the rota, and there can be a change of site, because as we said, we have 3 sites at the moment where we place these candidates. So if a candidate is struggling at one site, there is a process where we can move you to another site, a new team, which can sometimes help in your overall development. So this is what we found. I'll skip this because this is not really relevant. I will go into MIF pediatrics straight away, how it works. This is the general MIF in a nutshell. So what we do is, from the time that you get employed to the time you start the job, is usually anything between 3 to 4 months. And in that 4 months, you get what is known as a welcome pack, and you get a peer buddy. So a peer buddy is someone who has come through this program the year before and knows all about the program. I think the initial problems which IMGs face is, where am I going to stay, where I'm going to shop, where will my kids going to school, how do I get a bank account there? So these are usually the areas of questions which come off, and the peer buddy works very well, 1:1 with the candidate who is coming in. We try and give them from the same area they come from, so that there is no problem in language barriers, and try and support them so they have a wealth of knowledge till they come into this country. We have a welcome to GMC, a welcome to UK PAC, and then we have a platform called the ELFH, which is the e-learning for health, which the participant goes through with the main things that you need, because most of the medicine or pediatrics that you'll be coming to work with. All that you need to know is the system, basically. And the ELFH site gives you a lot of wealth of information of how the system works. So we've already discussed enhanced support. We've discussed that. Let's skip this slide. So this is probably what is more interesting and what is important for the pediatric cohort that will be coming in. This has been operative since 2021. This is our 5th year of recruitment. If you look at the numbers, 2021, one was recruited. She completed and she was from Calcutta actually. One was recruited, completed, and went into the national training. So she is becoming a consultant in the next 2 years. She was incidentally from Institute of Child Health, Kolkata. And then 2022, we had 6 recruited. They were in post till 2024, out of which 1 has moved into respiratory training, 1 has gone back into her country, and the rest 4 have moved to different parts of the UK. 2023, 7 got recruited, joined between September and December. They are still in post because it is finishing sometime end of next month. Usually the advertisement will come in beginning of December or mid of December, and shortlisting process interviews will be in January, and the posts usually starts in June. You get a 3 months period where you are supernumerary and you work on the tier 1 rota, which I'm going to come in a minute, and then you get imbibed into the tier 2 rota from September, when the trainees from UK also join in. That's the session in the UK starts from September, and that's how we do. So we do a joint recruitment for 3 sites: North Manchester, Royal Manchester Children's, and South Manchester. So between 3 sites, we recruited 7, 3 in North Manchester, 2 in Royal Manchester, and 2 in Wythenshawe. They're currently in post. They can be in any site based on requirement, but there'll be some provision of cross-site training, and there'll be a 2 years fixed contract for all these fellows. Process and application is the same. Jobs are advertised on track. It is also will be on MFT Careers. So I will put the name of the website at the end of my presentation. It's called MFT Careers. So careers in MFT. The cost of application process is 750. So this is all that you pay, but that is the application process of checking your documents, and sending them off to GMC, after which you pay your GMC registration directly to General Medical Council. So Manchester universities only take $750 for processing all your documents and ultimately sending it to GMC. Thereafter, all your work is with the GMC. You get your registration, pay for registration, and you get a registration from GMC. The salary scale is in line with the ST3 national scale. It is 61,400 and something plus on-call allowance. This on-call allowance starts straight away, and the take-home total gross salary is about £84,000. I repeat, is £84,000, which is quite a good start actually for, I would say, a very good start for new doctors. This is a yearly salary, £84,000, which is about £7,000 per month, including tax. So, which means your tax will be deducted on the £7,000. So that's the yearly salary that you will get for the fixed amount of those 2 years. You get a joining induction, you get a GMC welcome, you get a peer buddy support, you get an ES and appraisal allocation, as we said. As we said, there will be a 3 months introductory phase. We know the 2 weeks of departmental shadowing, 2 weeks supernumerary on the ward standard days, and then we have 8 weeks on tier 1. Tier 1 means you are on the junior most rota. You may have come with a lot of experience, but all we want you to do in the first 12 weeks is to know the system. And you are on the tier 1 junior rota. You do evenings, days, evenings, nights, and then assessment and feedback is done at 12 weeks, and then you get a tier 2 induction, which is the registrar rota, which you will be meant for the rest of your time in MFT, which is about 1 year and 9 months. Amalgamation, you get amalgamation the tier 2 in the same way of various shifts, days, evening, and night. So ultimately, by the end of 3 months, you should be on a tier 2 rota, and by the end of 6 months, you should be doing a full shift of a tier 2. If you are needing extra support, that time can be extended depending on individual conditions. So this comes to our association with IAP. I think we have been working with IAP. I think I went for the Pedicon Noida conference in 2021 where I first brought in the concept. It was a bit informal at that time. There was a word of mouth spread. But however, when Vasav came into his post, this was an official collaboration that we did with IAP on 17th of May 2024, as a memorandum was submitted to the president. IAP circulates it on their platforms and projects the candidates that are eligible, but at the end of the day, it will be the eligible criteria that will be matter. Because if you don't have English, if you don't have a 3-year structured program under your belt, if you are not in clinical practice, we will not be able to process your application. IAP helps us a lot in these areas in recommending this to the particular candidates and recommending the candidates who they feel will be beneficial for this program. I will give you a feedback of what we got on the reflection of recruitment 2024. We advertised 8 posts in October 2024. Interview was held in November 2024. There were 155 applicants, of which 87 were from India. Mind it, it's an international fellowship, so people from all over the world will apply. However, we found 155 applicants, 87 were from India. Only 20 could be shortlisted. But of that 20, 6, 1/3 was from India. Of the 6 from India, 4 got recruited. So if you see, the turnover of successful candidates is very high. But we found from 50% applicants from India, only 6 were shortlistable. Most of them did not look, they had a very, very good experience, but experience is not all that. So majority of them did not look at the essential criteria and just put a haphazard application, because we are not seeing the candidates. You can be as good only as in your application. So unless you fill up every area of that application box, if you leave any area blank, the chances are you will not be shortlisted. Because we cannot see you, we cannot judge you. We can judge you only from the application that you put in. Especially areas of audit, areas of teaching, areas of research. These were very, very poorly filled. If you see, look at the turnover, 6 got shortlisted out of 20, but out of the 6, 4 of them got the job. So the turnover, the success rate from the shortlistable candidates, so they were very, very, very good candidates. Basically. So ultimately what depends is your application, because that is your first port of entry into this system. Supportive evidence with IELTS OET was not mentioned in majority. People didn't look at the essential criteria. And we cannot chase you to say that whether you've done your English or not. It is very, very hard to chase individual, because we don't have enough time to chase, because of the short turnaround time between shortlisting and interview. Future yearly recruitment, usually a June start, we've already said, by Tier 2 by September, 6 monthly supervision, support to candidates willing for NTN after that. So NTN stands for the National Training Number. So at the end of 2 years, we support the candidates to apply for national training. As I said, 5 of the 14 candidates who have been recruited in the first 3 years, so that is a 1/3, which is a very, very high percentage of candidates have gone into the national training and pursuing their CCST to become a consultant in the next few years. So that is a very, very rewarding, because we have centers in Manchester Foundation which give MRCP Chase training. We have got people here who are directly responsible for taking MRCP Chase exams. They are senior examiners, and we do structured MRCP Chase clinical training all over the 3 sites in Manchester. So we did an application filling interview techniques last year, if you remember. People might have joined it. We did some satellite webinars last year as well. So that was the whole point. We're strengthening bonds with IP for involvement in future recruitment, satellite webinars, application filling. I think that's the most important thing. So this is what we have, a fellowship testimonial. This is Arunath, who just left us. I'm deeply grateful for my time in prestigious Manchester Fellowship Program. The induction was smooth, the team welcoming, the learning opportunities, both clinical and academic, were outstanding. Working alongside skilled clinician, attending conferences helped me to grow immensely. I recommend the program to any international medical guys to get excellent training and genuine support. So nothing to do with me, nothing to do with Dr. Maggie Stegel is the other person who helps me in this program, but it is not for us. It is for you to take the posts, for you to take. You can take the learning, you can take the opportunity, and you can thrive in your career as a complete postgraduate pediatrician in the years to come. So that's the structure. So I'm continuously, I lead the MIF program, and that's the group contacts. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Vivan. So I think we have some questions other than the good evenings. How to join the training at the end of 2 years, and whether do you have to compulsory return at the end of 2 years?
There is no compulsory return, as I clearly said. So the contract is for 2 years, definitely. And the contract ends at 2 years. So by the end of, as we said, 7 of these 22 candidates have moved into training. So in the second year of your training, you are supported if you want to enter training. At the end of it, if you don't get a training number and we are happy with you, we will employ you as a locally employed doctor. There are 3 sites. So if you want to stay on as a locally employed doctor to apply for your MRCPS clinicals or whatever you want to do.
You can read the question, sir. Atanu.
Yeah. He's taking.
There are questions. You can ask it.
Yeah.
So,
Vivan is asking whether at the end of 2 years, what would be the options open for them? Yeah, that is a question by Dr. Devina.
Yeah. So at the end of 2 years, there are 3 options. Either the MIF contract will end at the end of 2 years. That's for sure. But then you've got 3 options. One is going back to your country and practicing what you've learned. Number 2 is applying for the national training number in your second year and going into national training, which will be supported for. Number 3, if we are happy with you and you are happy with us, we will make you a locally employed doctor to work in any of our sites, either in a general ward, general pediatrics, or your choice specialty, depending on where the options are. I didn't go into the specialty recruitment because that's our target for 2026. We have discussed it with Neelam and Vasant when they came across. We have identified few specialties, but that will be a separate talks because every year it will be a different specialty, and that will be meant for people who have done their DNB or DM in their particular specialties, which I'm going to give a different talk. It will be probably recruitment will be somewhere in May.
Yeah, how recent should be the IELTS or OET score?
2 years. The IIT or the IELTS score is valid for 2 years. So at the point of application, sorry, not at the point of application, at the point of registration, because we will be recommending you to GMC for registration. So if we recommend you GMC registration today, which is the 13th of November 2025, your OET or IELTS score should not be beyond 13th of October 2023. So it doesn't depend on when your interview is. It is usually within 4 weeks an interview, we send the recommendation to GMC. So time your OET and IELTS accordingly. So if you've got a score which is valid within 2 years at the point of recommendation to GMC, it is valid. Once GMC has offered you the job, even if you are OET or IELTS has expired at the time of joining, it doesn't really matter.
Okay. When will the applications open, and will there be any webinar on how to fill up the application form, just like last year?
The application window is opening. I think the job is coming out middle of December. So, and the application will remain open. The problem is the application will have a clause saying that once the app, so apply as soon as possible, because the application can only take 150. We extended it to 155 last year, but apply as soon as possible with all your documentation and things that you have. So it will say it is open till whatever date, but at the end it will say if we get enough applications before the end date, the application window will close.
So fastest fingers first.
Sort of, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but usually for 7 days, what we've seen is 7 days usually stays open. The last date is usually 2 weeks from the application window, but last year we had to close this on day 8.
Okay, there are 2 eligibility questions: completed MD Pediatrics plus 1 year in a fellowship. Currently working as assistant professor. So is this gentleman eligible to apply?
Yes, definitely. But you may not get a neonatal post. If neonates is your interest, you will not get a neonatal post. It will be a combination of general pediatrics and neonates in any of the sites on Manchester.
Okay. Now this gets a bit, I think, gentleman has cleared MRCPCH 3 parts and already received GMC registration.
Fine. Yes. So you are eligible to apply. So you will not need the registration. You will only, so if you qualify, we will only sponsor your visa. So anyone with registration already can still apply. It doesn't mean that if you have a registration, you cannot apply. Yes, you can apply. Because you've got your MRCPCH, you will not need your 3-year structured training. You can apply, and if you are successful, we will apply for your visa only.
Okay, so Dr. Majumdar had cleared MD PED and passed MRCPCH clinical in 2025. Got GMC registration as well. Eligibility.
Yes, but you have, the only thing about both these candidates is you have to be in clinical practice. So in the last 1 year, you have to show that at the point of application, you are in clinical practice, wherever, maybe private practice, maybe government service, wherever. You have to be in clinical practice in a particular area or field of work. But private practice usually is not, it doesn't say very clearly, but we would at least want one hospital attachment in the last 1 year to be eligible in a continuous practice in a hospital in the last 1 year prior to your application.
Okay. So completed 2 years paid neurology fellowship under ICP, that is Indian College of Pediatrics, the IAP wing. Currently an assistant professor in paid neurology. Whether he is eligible, whether she is eligible, or can she expect paid neurology rotation after 12 weeks of timing?
on this appointment, no. But as we said, the specialty recruitment round is coming up in 2026. So if there is a pediatric neurology post which comes out, I can't say for sure what specialty will come out because we haven't mapped out the specialties which can give us posts. But if there is a pediatric neurology post, yes, you will be eligible. But for that, we haven't selected the eligibility criteria. Most likely, it will be a DM or a DNB in neurology. Again, it's a structured program which has provided you at least 3 years, 2 to 3 years of that specialty, rather than just a fellowship. But you are very welcome to apply for a general pediatrics and neonates post. At the end of 2 years, if you feel like that you want to stay, we can recommend you for a neurology specialty, but not in this program, no. Not in this round of recruitment, if I'm making myself clear. You will not get a pediatric neurology as a part of this recruitment.
Okay. So I am attached to a private hospital as a register. Will that be okay?
Depending on your eligibility criteria, doesn't really matter. If you are if you've got your 3-year structured training and your clinical training in the 36 months of the last 60 months and you're in clinical training for the last 12 months and you've got a English language, yes, you are. It doesn't really matter whether you're in a private hospital or in a government hospital. As long as you're in clinical practice, that should be okay.
Okay. So application fee.
Sorry?
Application fee to be paid after selection or at the time of filling?
No application fee at the time of application. Only after you have selected. I've told you that £750 is for processing your documents to apply for registration. This will only be eligible only for the successful candidates. So the application is free.
There are 2 or 3 questions on DM and paid cardiology, but I think you have made it clear that this is not a specialty.
Yes. Specialty recruitment will be anytime next middle of this. Once we have finishes this round, we are looking at the specialties that are giving us posts. So, but specialty recruitment this year, for general pediatrics and neonates, we'll have 6 posts. Anything between 5 to 7, but I think there are 6 posts across 3 sites. Specialties will not be so many. It will maximum be 2 or 3, but I cannot specify the specialties at this point of time. And it will be a specialty interview only. It will not be a general pediatric interview at that point. So there'll be specialty people in the particular specialty conducting the interview.
I have DCH. If I get MRCPCH, I don't need a DNB.
Yes. If you get a MRCPCH, you get a registration anyway. So you will be eligible.
Okay. So do you have a demo of how to fill the forms?
I don't have, but if people are interested, I can do one. In the sense, I can look at previous forms. So I think that's probably an ask that has come up. So I can design something in the next couple of weeks once the job comes out, or just before the job comes out.
So keep tuned in. We'll inform everyone when it is ready, and we can have that program. Thanks to Dr. Biman. Yeah. So I think we have addressed almost all the questions.
Yes, I'll just put my, sorry, I'm just slide and.
Okay, there's one here in the gap in last 12 years practice.
Sorry?
If I don't know, I think there has been a gap in last 12 years practice due to some explainable. Will it be catered? But again, the other points will have to cover, and this gap means what?
Last 12 years gap of 1 year won't matter. If you are in practice in the last 5 years, so there is a two years gap allowed in the last 5 years. But in the last 1 year, you have to be in continuous practice. So 2 years maximum gap in the last 5 years, but that shouldn't include your last year when you're applying. So I've just put my, I'm just putting my email address in the chat box. If anyone wants any help, any questions, please email me directly.
So I think are we at the end of the program, Vivan?
Yes.
So, Dr. Ruchira, are you there? Dr. Ruchira? I think she had joined in.
I've got a question. What about DM in neonatology candidate? Will he get CCT or fellowship degree? It will only be a fellowship degree. You don't get your CCT through this route. For CCT in UK, you have to go through the structured program in UK to get your CCT in units. If you have a DM in neonatology and we give you an entry into the system, you still have to apply for national training number here and go through the training in UK before you can be allowed a CCT in units.
Yeah. So
What is this? Is LET needed at the time of application or the time of it? No, IELTS is needed at the time of application. I think it is IELTS, not LET. The English language is needed at the time of application, not at the time of interview.
IELTS or OET?
IELTS or OET, the English language is an essential criteria at the time of application.
Yeah, that's the basic requirement. Yeah. So, yeah. So I think, Vivan, you've done a great job. Interested many of the people. I think it is a great help to them, and we hope that we'll try to increase the number of eligible candidates and also the number of people who finally get through and get trained in Manchester.
Please contact me directly once you apply. Please email me directly with your application number if you are coming through the IAP portal. Please. Yes. Please send me an email with your application number so that I can look at it with, but please make sure that you have got all your eligibility criteria for me to shortlist you, please.
Yeah, Dr. Alok Pandari, I think you have raised your hand. Alok.
Yes. Good evening, friends. Dr. Bevan, I was Secretary General of National Neonatology Forum, and I entered the MOU with Oxford for neonatal fellowships. And then I was National Joint Secretary at IAP in 22, where I conceptualized and proposed this Beyond the Borders Committee with Dr. Ranjan Pejawar and Ramesh Kumar as our president. And what we are doing at NNF is that physical interview is held during National Neocon. That is what I'll suggest if we can do it for this IAP programs also during our National Pedicon. So we can do the shortlisting part before that. And finally, you can come over during Pedicon, like in Kolkata in January. And finals, you can have face-to-face interviews with the shortlisted candidates. So that will reduce that number of dropped out uh, people also, and plus you will get a chance to get more quality people from our country for the fellowship program.
Good
Just if you can explore that.
Yeah, we'll place it before years. I think it's there is a standard format which they are following. You can always have a discussion on that. Yes. Okay. Thank you from all of us, Dr. Bivan. So it's I think this is the 4th series of the Indo UK program.
5th.
Okay? Yeah.
The first one I did when I was in COVID lockdown. I think you remember.
Yeah. Yes, we did that. Right. Thank you.
Okay. I think Ruchira is here. You were looking for Ruchira, isn't it?
Dr. Ruchira.
Hi, Dr. Biban.
Yeah, vote of thanks from all of us to Dr. Bivan. Yes, from IAP.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Atanu. So, heartfelt thanks to the guest and the pioneer for this Indo-UK fellowships, Dr. Bivan, for spending your valuable time with us, for giving insight about the fellowship programs and facilitating our Indian aspirants to get further super specialty training. It means a lot to us, and we truly appreciate this effort of yours. And I'm sure more and more people will get benefited with this particular project. And I know the mind behind this program was our past president, Dr. Basavaraja sir. And definitely the facilitator was Dr. Atanu. Thank you, Dr. Atanu, for being there to have that thing on plate to Indian Academy of Pediatrics. Really worth praising project. And this got materialized during this year. So, yeah, our current president, President 2025, we really appreciate his effort, Dr. Vasant Kalatkar, sir. And I'm sure our president-elect, Dr. Neelam Mohan, she will also add a lot of values to this particular program, and we will have many more to come in future. I'm thankful to Dr. Alok Bhandari, sir, who gave his insight that how can we further make this process easy. And those who have participated in this program, your presence is the thing which really gives a lot of strength and motivation to keep on doing such kind of work. Again, a big thanks to the office people for keeping everybody on track. And we are sure in coming time to come, we will have lot many such kind of Indo UK webinar series, and looking forward to have such series in 2025 with more vigor, with more enthusiasm, definitely with Dr. Atanu Bhadra. He is the coordinator of all these things. So I'm sure Dr. Tanu will definitely add more miles into it. Thank you very much from core of my heart on the behalf of IAP.
Sorry, just before I finish, can you see this, everyone? Indian Academy of Pediatrics visit. Is it being shared?
Yeah. It's a very
Wow.
milestone, one of the major milestones that we had been all.
So this was on the 26th of September, what Vasant and Neelam was just talking about. There was this visit on the 26th of September. IAP visited leadership, Dr. Jogesh Parekh and Vasant Kalatkar and Neelam Mohan. They visited our Royal Manchester Children's Hospital to know more about us, to strengthen our bonds, and to see what students and the trainees are getting out of this program. We had a full day CME, and this is some of the happy faces that you can see. You can see our medical director, Dr. Rachel Barber there. It is Jogesh and Neelam can be seen here, and the rest of my colleagues who are a part of our IAP group in UK, who were phenomenal. We had some very interesting and productive discussions. And that's where we probably put all the effort to build this relationship in the long years. And our main areas of progressing this relationship was main areas of cross-border training and research, which I've already highlighted to our current leadership and in the years to come, to get a sort of a research portfolio into the system, basically. And I think that carries a lot of meaning to any organization in years, to be known all over the world. What matters is what not you do, but what you take forward for others to look at, because any organization is known by what they provide to the society rather than what they provide for themselves and what they provide to the entire world. So with those words, I would like to finish here, and I would probably expect a lot of applications this year, good quality applications. I will liaise with the leadership to see if I can do an application filling procedure, half an hour workshop on it, where I can show a demo workshop on how things can run. Answering your question, Dr. Bhandari, I think the only physical problem to that is it is an international fellowship. So there'll be people from all over the world applying. The majority, I said, are from India. So doing a face-to-face interview in India straight away will not be easily acceptable, basically, because you will expect all the others from different parts of the world to come to India to have the interview, isn't it, as well? So I think that's where we will struggle because it's not a India specific program. We give a lot of foot mileage and things to IAP per se, but we do have applications from different parts of the world as well.
Thank you, Bivan. So we'll keep in touch. We'll be putting, for all those who are joined today, we'll keep putting the updates.
Thank you, Bhavan, for that very enlightening thing. And I think what you added today was the research element, which was lacking earlier. So I think that was very interesting because you rightly said that the research component can make it more powerful, the relationship between the two countries.
Thank you. Have a good night, all of you. It's nearly 10 o'clock, so I finished on time, which is good. And have a good evening, everyone. And I'll see you very soon in Kolkata.
Good night.
Thank you. Good
Night.
night. Good night.
Good night and welcome.